Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command, World War II, World at War with our Allied playthrough. In the last episode, we progressed to May 21st, 1943. The Axis are on the run everywhere. We've pushed up to the capitals of Yugoslavia. I think we've taken the capital of Croatia, yeah. We're in the southern part of Italy now. We are near Paris, but not quite able to hit it. Spain's alternate capital has just been conquered and is probably on its way to dying. And the battle in the Pacific is about to relight with some American special forces being allocated to this region and new ones spawning in. The Submarine Special Division forces have arrived. We'll send them down to San Diego, yeah, because they can't go anywhere else. So San Diego it is. They're probably going to need some upgrades, but that can go for a lot of things. Looking at the Mediterranean, I also wanted to just give this armor tank another AA upgrade because it's probably going to be a target, an easy target, and it's just sitting here, so I figured I might as well. They might also go for the Rhodesians, but the Rhodesians have taken part in an attack already. Now that the British Castleton destroyer has been repaired to 8, we can give it all of its upgrades, which will help its survivability and help it get back. It's probably the most advanced destroyer the Brits have right now, separate to the ones that we upgraded on the Canadians. No, because they don't even have naval weapons too. And I got these upgrades in Africa. Gotta love it. Let's reinforce anything over here that we can. We can also get upgrades for naval weaponry. Funny, it didn't show that. As you can see, a lot of the numbers are green now. That's because I have show reinforceable units on. Alright, maybe upgradable as well. These are very nice because they make it very obvious if you can right-click somebody to accomplish something. So usually I would be right-clicking the entire game just to find this information. But I don't have to do that with these filters on. It's a lot more stuff to look at, especially you look at the towns and you can see all these extra things that you might not want to look at. If you learn how to just tune some shit out, it can be really, really handy. Let's send the Mohawk down to there. Sadly, this cannot reach. However, it can be upgraded, I could tell, because I looked, with some naval weaponry upgrades. Not that it's going to be too useful, considering the Germans have pretty much lost their navies. We'll send the Parthian sub, I guess, north. We don't have to stay so goddamn close to Germany to raid this. And looks like it will stay up for the time being. We can't... Well, we can get the Soviets capable of raiding. It's just a lot more dangerous for them to do it. So, I don't know. For now, we'll just move up the Norwegian Sea, let's say. Yeah, somewhere further away from them and their reach. Oh, hello, submarine. Holy shit. Hello, submarine in Norway. See, that could be another good reason to take over Norway, because, well, the Germans are using it as a naval base to repair their submarines. That can kind of be a big deal. We do have the ability to start bombing. One problem we have in Brest, well, this isn't just Brest anymore, I guess, is the fact that the thing defending Paris is strong. We don't have a lot of troops here. We're surrounded by almost as many troops as we have here. We can't just poke out to Paris and deal with just that. We have to leave towns open behind us at this rate, while also trying to advance. I do have, let's see, I believe 2 more Canadians recruiting. Yeah, 2 Canadian armies. But that is only going to be so much as well. We would need like another HQ and then some other shit down here to really be able to control this region better. And then not to mention we're going to have to look at controlling Spain, which is probably going to require some garrisons. A garrison can be placed here, and it would block out both of these because you only have to be adjacent. And then 1 here and 1 here. If I made 3 British garrisons, they would be able to keep control of all of Spain. I don't think India even has 3 to make. India? Do you? Garrison? No, you have 2 to make. Those are probably better in your homeland. So, that's something I'll probably do, since the Indians are helping relieve pressure from the Brits by arriving here. And hopefully, you know, Spain will fall. They'll be able to push up through France and then reinforce the Brits and stuff here. And then give me the manpower I need to take over the rest of occupied France here, which is going to be easier and easier as the Soviets just destroy Germany. This is an Italian holding, so I don't know what happens to German occupied things when you wipe them out. I don't know if like this stuff will all go Soviet or what, but this won't because this is Italian. And there's not going to be any other way than through the Soviets or through the Brits or the Americans here to get down there until Vichy France joins us. And for Vichy France to join us, we're probably going to have to kill almost everybody here. So the UK can at least try to carry its weight there. This is the USSR. I was like, penal border, what? Let's purchase, and might as well upgrade, right? 3 garrisons is all we should need. So that is the 3rd garrison. And we'll do the same for this one. That is the 4th garrison. We'll do the same for this one. That is the 5th garrison. They don't need their own garrisons, which is also why I'm using theirs, unlike most others. If we look at the African countries and stuff like that, Middle East, if they actually made garrisons, they would probably need it. They would actually need it. And the Allies just can't make a lot of garrisons in general with the hard caps. Even if you had the soft caps, it would eventually just become so financially dumb. Looks like we can have the Kanga Special Forces moving out already. I wonder if they have anyone defending Nauru. However, I question this when there are closer targets we might want to reclaim, such as Referral and etc. Let's go see if Referral is open. Okay, they took Referral and then left it. So, we can land the Kanga Special Forces here, who can then go march down here to try to reclaim the rest of it. And then they'll move again. They can technically board their transports from right here. So we have taken the Kanga Special Forces from Australia. We have used them to reclaim Referral. It's a secondary supply location. It's not a morale location. It doesn't have any national morale value or anything like that. But reclaiming this means it's one less area that Japanese Special Forces and other things can operate from. And now before I go too into looking at the Pacific here, let's go look at Brest so I don't get too distracted. We can see there's elite reinforcements and other things that some of our Canadian troops could be getting. And otherwise, just troops up here in general. We're going to have trouble pushing forward, like I said, which is unfortunate. We'll go ahead and reinforce the BEF army here. We want to attack something. The easiest thing to attack is going to be this Italian unit, just to make sure we're doing something. So we'll go ahead and attack. Dealing 2 damage. Losing 1. Not the worst thing in the world. We could probably get around with the 1st mechanized here. And so we don't have to attack across a river with them. Let's go ahead and put some pressure. Attack the enemy Italians here. Dealing 2 damage, taking 1 damage. Starting to notice a trend. We'll take the Brits forward here. And, well, we can, no, there's no way to really get across the river. There kind of was, but not anymore. 2 damage dealt, none received. Oh, now there's a way, because we've lowered their control over the region so far, probably. Oh, right, mechanized can strike twice, ha! Dealing 3 damage and losing none. This thing's almost dead, just like a love tap from a Canadian is all it needs to pretty much lose its operational capacity. So, tell you what I'll do. We'll go around and just secure this region with the Brit. We are then going to send the Canadian tank forward. And we're going to attack with the Canadian tank, which gets 2 shots. So thankfully it got enough to go ahead and pull this off. We are then going to pull the Canadian tank back. We're going to pull the 1st Corps here. I don't mind leaving a way to Brest open for them, because if we take Nantes, that's worth a lot more, and then we could just blockade the enemy unit in here. The HQ is going to go to Cherbourg, where it'll be a little bit safer. We can step in and claim Tours for ourselves, pressed up against the Vichy border here. Taking Nantes would help. There's only a Hungarian corps here, but it is entrenched. Its supply is not the greatest, however. So that's a good thing, I guess. We can go continue to try to surround it planning on taking that out first. We prefer Special Forces will probably just stay on the town itself rather than move up to the river. Although the river is a good defensive location, I don't really expect the enemies to be pushing forward over here or anything. We can secure Nantes, we can clear what's behind us, and then the Indians will have an easier time also getting up to help us next turn if they get that ability. There's also bombing, although I think I'll go ahead and just upgrade the TAC bombers right now because they can get an upgrade, so why not get it? We're going to reinforce the strategic bombers because they took some losses last time around. Okay, now we just have, well actually no, the battle for the Pacific or Atlantic is not really raging right now. It's actually pretty passive. Alright, let's go ahead and send the Montgomery Destroyer around somewhere that it can get some easy replacement words. Let's sail over to St. John with the Annapolis Destroyer, where it can get some naval weaponry upgrades. Guess we might as well do this with all of them, since the enemy submarines have gotten fucked up and all run back to get their own reinforcements. We could try to get as many naval reinforcements and upgrades as we possibly can. And then that appears to be Europe pretty much handled. Now Malta has another good use. We can upgrade all the ships sitting in Malta, which is not a lot, but it's better than nothing, seeing as we have a whole array of upgrades that can be given to these ships, and they're not currently facing any major threats or anything like that. We do still have our 2 subs here, which I don't think they can be upgraded. No, the Brits have not gotten advanced subs. I haven't even started researching advanced subs with the Brits. Let's see. Our weakest point is going to be from the west, not the east, but the east is where most of the enemies are, so like I don't really know. We'll go ahead and put the DEI sub over here, and the subs can continue to form a little bit of a screen. Get them a little bit closer, because we have light cruisers defending battle cruisers. A very weird situation, but something we'll try to take advantage of as we avoid using the carriers just yet. Damn, the carriers could get naval weapon upgrades as well, and damn, wouldn't that be helpful for bombing? But what I'm thinking is, like, I might not even need to bomb and then take things over. Now, the national morale of Italy is plummeting down to 21%. Oh my god. Very low. But depending on how much they actually try to defend this, we could maybe get to Rome real quick. We have America here with enough units. They can get more. They can bring over this rocket artillery. And then we have the South Africans coming up to help as well, with an HQ capable of maintaining all of them. That is one thing we're going to want to do, is we're going to want to bring that rocket artillery over. So let's go ahead and put that on a transport. Don't worry about any upgrades or anything right now. And we're just going to sail that over as fast as possible is what we're going to do. Just naval cruise it out there. We don't need to send the Eisenhower HQ because we still have enough. Yeah, we have more than enough. This HQ can take on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Yeah, it can still take on another unit. It's not going to be lacking, especially with a South African HQ here to split the load. I could send the Desert Recon up there. This has been sitting here the whole time, and now we know we're not actually going to do Torch, which is the whole reason why I left it where it was. We could kind of use some more units to fill out the front here. However, we don't have the HQs for that. We could get the HQ for that. We can certainly make the transport at this point. It's still dangerous, but we could probably do it. However, we don't have the money for that right now with the UK. However, we do have money to get that going, or to get some more Australians and New Zealanders up to snuff, because these cores, some of them could be useful, but if we started purchasing, like, let's find it, Australian garrisons, they can't have any more cores, but army, like, they have stuff here that could be pretty useful. They have stuff here that could allow them to assist with the island hopping campaign, and just assist America in general with land forces and HQs for their own units if need be, although that's not quite where we are right now. So probably no need to focus that this instant. Therefore, it does make sense to try to move the Desert Recon. Before I do send it over there, might as well give it its AA upgrades, because the enemy air is one of the things where they're still the strongest, and we have many of our units just not getting their upgrades because they're on constant offensives that they just can't get upgrades. So it's worth spending, I think, in that regard. With 161 remaining with the UK, I think it's worth finally getting some advanced submarine research going. We do have a couple of them, certainly, and we can go ahead and get that research moving along, as it could be handy at the very least. Having them be the way they were in 39 is certainly not the smartest idea. Now that we've utilized America somewhat, we might as well go look at them some more over here. We have potential upgrades on the Tuscaloosa heavy cruiser. Let's go ahead and purchase those. As I was saying, a lot of things are probably going to still upgrade. I'm just trying to figure things out. We'll sail the sub over here to get some replacements is all it really needs. We have destroyer and a light cruiser that can vacate the port. Let's just move them out for right now. You can go repair. I know I just sent you up here, and you can go upgrade. I'm going to go do that because you're not actually going to be useful in a bombardment. So, approaching this is going to be weird, but a lot of the battleships can actually make it up here. So let's go ahead and try bombarding this right now. Okay, dealing 2 damage. Was that to the settlement or to the enemy? Probably to the settlement. Probably not to the enemy itself. And let's just surround this bitch with battleships and bombard it just to the best of our ability. I can't quite see. I was saying the bombers probably wouldn't be worth it, but I kind of changed my mind on that. I think I'm just being like a little bit picky, to be honest. Let's see here. I think we can approach this from like every angle. Let's go ahead and bombard it again. We need a transport up there just to see the status of the enemy unit. Alright, so we can see that its readiness is like dog shit right now. We can see that much. Let's get another more advanced battleship coming down. Not that that really changes anything. The supply and national morale value, well no, the supply is just dog shit right now, but there's a heavy demoralization effect that comes into play here. Now, I don't know if we're actually going to be able to kill anything here by bombarding it. There is the value of the port. Technically speaking, we could also be bombarding the port to try to get rid of all of its supply and then have it just start attriting. That's a way to do it. Of course, I did not set myself up to do that at all. However, we still can do it with the planes. And then that would just mean we would have to wait because it wouldn't have any supplies coming in. Okay. That's something we can do. Let's go ahead and move this bomber closer a little bit. Let's go ahead and bomb that. The port. And let's bomb it again. There you go. This is one way to do it, rather than just trying to go for just the enemy. Now the port will provide no supply. We're losing some planes in the process, but these stronghold islands, you know, this is just how you have to get through them. I think. We could be focusing everything here, but, I mean, other than lowering morale and readiness more, what is this actually doing? Well, at least right now, there is no exposure to a source of supply. So, let's move these ships off of their ports, and we can go place the special forces in these ports for the time being. We also have medium bombers here that can bombard, yet do a terrible job of it. They can get some upgraded ground attack weapons. That would help. So I was going to say, like, this is like the perfect position. I probably put them there intentionally for this purpose. However, their odds of actually doing anything are not very good. The enemy AA capacity is just too great. We'll go ahead and bombard it again with a battleship, further demoralize them, because, well, try to, right? Morale doesn't come back that quickly. And now that they have no supply, they should be easy targets as of next turn. And we're in no rush because we're still waiting on more special forces to show up, but they can't have this many strongholds spread throughout the Pacific. At least that's what I would like to think. Now, these carriers need a screen. So we'll send that to you. You could use some upgrades. We'll go put you in this port real quick. I mean, you guys could use upgrades too. What upgrades do you need? Advanced fighters? Ah, yeah, that would be very, very handy. Well, we'll handle that at Pearl when we get a chance to momentarily. Let's see. Let's put a destroyer there. Let's put a destroyer there. Let's put the heavy cruiser here. Let's put a battleship behind them. And were there any more ships coming? Well, there's a destroyer up here, the Somers destroyer. It went up here for upgrade or reinforcement or something, but I think it has it. Let's go send that down and around. Let's say right about... whoa, God, controls. Right about here. There you go. There you go. Alright, cool. That's pretty much figured out. Looking at research for America, we can get advanced fighters, the next level, going. So let's go ahead and do that. We have 560 MPPs remaining. We do have diplomacy that we can allocate as America. Venezuela is getting further towards us than I ever expected these shits to accomplish. So I'm tempted to just keep pouring the points in and just kind of finalize that. I don't know if they would join eventually anyway, but shrug at this rate, you know? Like, we've been getting so lucky with like these critical successes that if we keep getting it, Venezuela will just join us in like no time flat. So I'm tempted to just say, hey, all right, you know, fuck it. Here we go. Let's just go all in then. Because even if we get minor successes at this point, with this amount of points invested, it's probably enough to get them over the hump, so to say. And so that leaves us with 460 for America. A lot of things we could spend those points on. However, can we spend it on another carrier? Probably not. There's a lot of upgrades now. Actually, no. We can just barely afford another carrier. Right now, we're having one arrive in March, September. Are we going to need these things? I don't know. This would be done in November, so we've skipped a month due to putting points into getting special forces. Always recruiting things is probably smart. If we got another one, this would get our carrier fleet up to like 5 carriers eventually. Would we need it? Again, I don't know. The more we have certainly would help with a holdout Japan. I don't want to just go out of my way to keep pouring endless amounts of points into carriers, I'll tell you that much. However, in this instance, there's not a lot of other things I would care to spend my points on, so I will go ahead and purchase another carrier into construction, so we have another one coming in. Basically trickling them in, but I'll get less into actually paying for these sooner or later. Just because we have other things to do. We do have upgrades and reinforcements to do that I'm just not doing because a lot of these things don't actually have any purpose to doing it. And as our special forces come in, there's going to be a lot more for us to do. As the war over here heats up, there's going to be a lot more for us to allocate, and we might want to look at other things instead, like maybe some more destroyers, maybe some more land units or HQs or things like that. But for right now, that does take care of the rest of the points that America has to deal with. So let's go ahead and look at China. Now, annoyingly, they saw my army in port and hit it. It had elite reinforcements, I believe, so they took 2 damage off of it. The thing is that I don't believe anything's open. They have so many troops here. There's nothing I can do with these. So I'm probably just going to have to send these back and away and just kind of chill out with them and wait. I can't repair an army that's in a transport, so this was just an unfortunate, I guess, mistake, unfortunately. Another hard lesson learned. Don't get transports too close. Even if they're in dock, they're not safe. Don't know why I would think they're safe, but they're not safe. Let's see what we have here to work with. So, we have infantry up close, near the front. We have an infantry that can certainly get its upgrades and such. If I swap these out, the arty will be able to fire. This dude just is fucked. And we have a enemy city, which is probably capable of falling this turn. So let's go ahead and do this swap out. Let's have the arty fire on Osaka. I think the whole point of this unit being here was to help. I don't know. Maybe I was just doing it to get reinforcements. We do need, or upgrades. We do need to get this upgraded for it to be more effective. And it is now upgraded. I don't know if we're really going to be able to get through this right now. We would probably be able to with this army, but you know, actually, we could probably also get through it if we landed one of these units right here, although my concern is, what if that unit gets stuck there because we can't actually advance anybody all the way up and through here? The zones of control shouldn't be too strong. Let's give it a shot. We'll put that 12th army to use, let's say. Let's sail it up here, land it. Some landing casualties. Should be fine, though. Osaka has fallen, and we can actually take the 6th army right now and move it up, and we can see more units waiting for us. But we've now unlocked a 2-hex front. Oh my god. I can't even begin to explain how important that it is that we have that. Now, I know I sent this army back here to get some reinforcements, but we don't really have that luxury right now. So we're just going to move it forward, where it's going to be able to attack the enemy artillery. And I guess the 13th army will be able to move forward soon. Really depends on a lot of things. As we move up, we're getting further away from our HQs. But we are moving up, and that's the important thing. Looking at the northern front over by Hokkaido, I believe it's called, we'll reinforce the 42nd army here. We have, unfortunately, very stubborn holdouts up here. We'll go ahead and attack with the 41st Army, dealing 2 damage and taking 1 damage. I knew we were going to fail that fucking dice roll. Oh my god. We'll swap the Dare to Die Special Forces in, go ahead and attack with them, dealing 2 damage and taking no damage. I could further move this arty up, but I do remember why I put this up here. I will just give it some upgrades and allow these two to swap back and forth, doing more damage than 1 artillery shell could contribute right now. We are going to need as much mobility as possible over here, so I'm going to start giving mobility and better AA defenses to the HQs that we have over here on Japan. Especially if we want to move from Nagasaki up to Hiroshima, we're going to need mobility to really make it that far. Now, I don't know if I should keep the 1st Army where it is. It's further away from the enemy bombers and hopefully harder to spot. Doesn't have any obvious targets, but it can kind of stay where it is for right now, hoping something pops up like we were able to do with the 12th Army here. The planes, a lot of the bombers are getting out of reach, unfortunately. So, I don't know. I'll probably just leave them where they are for right now, just because there does appear to be range if you're right here, but then again, I think this has a different range, a strike range of 6, and this has a strike range of 5. Yeah, that's not simple at all. Well, I can take the 1st tactical bombers, and I can move them forward. I can reinforce the Flying Tigers for the time being, and these fighters have been reinforced as well. And we can just see what pops up. For America, I can actually afford to upgrade the 2nd Air Force fighters that are over here on Midway, so might as well put those points to use and get them moving. I also forgot to move these subs, which are kind of just serving as screening elements right now. So let's go ahead and get those screening elements in position. The maritime bombers here are amazing enough at kind of keeping track of everything. Let's go ahead and scout over there. We can see nothing seems to be in those ports. We have a 2nd scouting we can do. Let's go ahead and check down here if we can. There's nothing at Truk. That means Truk is going to be a free claim. Wow. That's a pretty important naval location for them. Look at its positioning. Like, this is an amazing naval base for upgrades and minor repairs. And we'll just be able to take it in one go. Awesome. This is why maritime bombers are so useful and why I wish I had more of them. And if I didn't see so much success in the beginning of this, why I would have bought so many more of them. Maritime bombers as well as naval ships rather than investing into land forces with America. My whole playstyle has been really confused with how the war has gone. If it went historically, I would have played this much differently. Our naval and air capacities are not really as good as they could have been if the war had gone a little bit worse. Let's go do some scouting with you. We don't really need to do any scouting down here. There's not a whole big point, but might as well look somewhere. Just kind of see what's out there. What a surprise, not basically anything, because we have killed just about everything. But that's it. That's all we have time for this episode. We have the Soviet Union remaining, who we will take on and probably progress into the next month on the next one.